Clay Moreland builds in silence now, one hand on wood, one on the plow. No preacher prayers, no flowers laid, just dirt and pine and debts unpaid. He never speaks, he never acts, just shapes the box and wears no mask. And when they're gone, the ground don't keep. The dead rise wrong and never sleep. The crooked coffin never holds. It cracks, it moans, it pulls in souls. Clay hums a tune while the sawdust flies, and the hunger wakes behind his eyes. The town once begged, please make it right. He just carved deeper in the night. He builds them wrong and stains them black. No one buried ever comes back. 13 boxes, 13 names, each one cursed in splintered frames. Hammer sings and boards align, a coffin made for death and time. The crooked coffin never rests. It takes the soul, forgets the flesh. Clay walks on with eyes gone blind. 13 coffins, one for time. There's a town past a canyon where the buzzards don't fly, and the pines grow tall, but they lean toward the sky. No welcome sign, just a rusted bell, and the wind don't blow, but it still can yell. Church doors chained, saloons bone dry, but the piano plays when a stranger rides by. Windows blink like they're holding breath, and the soul don't take to anything but death. Black Pine Hollow, where the silence is deep, where the dirt remembers and the dead don't sleep. It's not on maps, not in the law, just a spot on the trail where the world turns raw. Clay Moreland came with a box and a grin, built a shop where the bad days begin. He carved out coffins with hands like knives, and the town filled up without taking lives. Ask the barkeep why the doors don't lock. He'll say if you're meant to stay, you won't walk. Ask the mayor where the children play. He'll say they ain't, and they never may. Black Pike, Pine Hollow, where the candles burn red, where the sky goes black and the dreams go dead. It's not a place, it's a warning sign, where coffins are planted like rows of pine. So if you ride through and you feel too still, don't look back and don't sit still. Sent no telegram, but a box showed up with her late man's brand. No sender name, just Clay's old mark. A coffin sealed with pitch and dark. The banker in Redstone swore on his name, claimed he never stole, but the ground said shame. They found him cold on a bed of dust, with a splintered lid and his hands in rust. A box for every lie you've told, nailed in silence, stained and old. No judge, no trial, no alibi, just Clay's pine grin and a lullaby. A preacher screamed when the crate arrived, said I paid my penance, I prayed, I tithed. But the coffin moaned when the moon came low, and the preacher left with his shadow in tow. You can run from guilt, you can paint it white, but a lie stays warm in the dead of night. And when that box appears out back, best pray the hammer don't answer back. A box for every lie you've weaved, for every vow the dark deceived. Clay don't knock and he don't cry, he just builds and he lets them die. They don't cry out and they don't bleed, just rise at dust like they still need. No hunger burns behind those eyes, just quiet roads and empty skies. You'll see 'em walking through the cotton fields with broken boots and cracked up heels. One holds a locket, one drags a chain, all walking west through wind the sleepless kind, the left unclaimed. No soul to sing, no death to name. They move through towns with faces pale, like pages torn from judgment's tale. A mother homes where her children burn, her house long gone, but she's returned. A miner limps through mountain snow, still digging where no vein should go. You'll hear their boots at 3:30. No breath, no blood, no memory. And if you open up your door, they'll walk inside and nothing more. They are the sleepless kind, the quiet sin, the things we lose and let back in. And Clay just smiles like he always knew that the dead ain't done when they walk through you. They don't look back, they don't turn round, they're just here to unmake ground. They say the storm rolled into white, black as coal with a copper hide. Clay stood still on a chapel hill with a box half built in time to kill. No name carved, no soul to grieve, just a coffin cut from a midnight tree. He drove one nail, then two, then three, and the wind forgot how to breathe. He nailed the sky shut, one plank at a time, closed the light out, hung the moon on a line. The thunder wept, the stars went blind, and Clay walked off no longer kind. He threw his name in a dried up well, let it sink with the weight of hell. The ground took note, the crows took wing, and nothing's grown there since that spring. Lightning danced but never struck, like heaven missed or lost its love. Clay just stared with hollow grin and hammered truth where lies begin. He nailed the sky shut, left the world to crawl, built a door in pine for the end of it all. And every time the storm comes near, you'll feel that coffin in your ear. Preacher packed his Bible in a blood-stained sack, said the Lord ain't coming and he ain't coming back. The church door swung like a gallows gate, and the wind said grace a second too late. The graves in the yard all cracked their teeth, like the roots forgot what slept beneath. A widow sang hymns till her lungs gave way, now she sings them backwards in the clay. God don't bury no more, he don't count the dead. He turned his back, let clay preach instead. No holy ground, no righteous war, just pine wood truth and a rusted floor. The altar burned and no one cried. They just watched the flames and swore they lied. The holy water boiled to dust, now it stains your hands when you break its trust. Say faith is a lantern's flame, but clay built a box and nailed shut the name. God don't bury no more, he don't send the rain. He gave the shovel to a man called pain. No psalms, no signs, no mercy, Lord, just coffins walking back through the door. So fold your hands, kneel down low, and pray to the man with the hammer's glow. Wheat won't rise and the well runs dry. The roots curl up like they're scared to try. The cows all moan in a language wrong, and the dust hums low like a funeral song. They planted kin in the backwood rows, but the graves came up like a book that knows. The preacher said prayers, the widow cried, but the pine spat out what they put inside. When the soil said no, we lost the ground. It gave up ghosts, wouldn't hold them down. Crawled out, the moss turned gray, and the dead stood up like they meant to stay. Clay walked past, didn't tip his brim, just nodded once like the fault was them. The farmers wept, the seeds wouldn't sleep, 'cause you can't grow hope where the hunger's deep. They say the dirt's a mother's bed, but clay made it a mouth instead. When the soil said no, we a place to go when the sky burns hot and the soul says no. Don't lay me down, don't sow the shame. Just let me walk with no more name. They don't scratch and they don't call, they don't tap bones on bedroom wall. You blink once and they're in the hall, like they've never left at all. Old man Dyer found his wife in bed. Been 20 years since she was dead. She kissed his cheek and combed her hair, then vanished when he tried to stare. The dead don't knock, they just come through. No lock, no prayer, no wooden pew. They sit real still and smile so wide, like they brought your guilt back from the other side. A girl in white walks Fifth and Main, got no shoes and a broken brain. Says clay made me, ain't I clean? Then disappears behind the screen. You can bar the doors, you can light the sage, but clay's carved grief into every page. The dead don't care if you moved on, they just pick the locks until you're gone. The dead don't knock, they don't forget, they wear your shame like a silhouette. And when they sit where your father died, you'll know that clay is still inside. They don't knock, they just arrive. They don't knock, they're still alive. Clay don't guess and he don't pray. He cuts straight lines and stays that way. A coffin's not for dreams of rest. It's a weapon dressed in Sunday best. The corner's tight, the angle's true. Each plank soaked in midnight dew. He draws blue chalk in a circle wide, and the wood forgets it ever died. Measure twice, curse once, don't leave it to the window chance. Every nail's a name he's learned, every hinge a bridge that burned. Clay don't build to bury the sin he built, to let the rock begin. Now every town gets a box on time, stamped with blood and a crooked rhyme. Folks still think it's grief or fate, but Clay's just setting the dinner plate. Plans in bone, ink and ash. The world ends quiet, not in flash. His fingers hum like tuning forks while he cuts the sky into pitchforks. Measure twice, curse once, ain't no fixing what he hunts. He builds them clean, he builds them right, and every box turns day to night. Clay don't guess, he don't repent. He builds the end, then pays the rent. He don't build for you to die. He builds so something else can rise. Lizzie don't sleep, just stares at the wall. Says the birds outside don't sing at all. Her hands stay cold, her teeth feel wrong. She hums dead tunes from a nowhere song. Jeb cut deep just to feel the flame, but the blood ran black and spelled his name. The doc said rest, but the veins still crawl like they're trying to stitch him back to fall. Ash in the vein, fire in the bone, breath that don't feel quite your own. They burn the fields, they salt the skin, but the ash comes back and it grins within. They say the sickness don't have a name, but Clay's coffins know their claim. You ain't dead, but you ain't awake, just moving wrong for moving safe. Ash in the vein, dark in the breath, walking him too close to death. The body stays, but the soul don't reign when Clay's been working in your vein. They loaded the train with unmarked pine, 12-foot crates and a twisted spine. Conductor said, "Don't ask no more." They're headed west through the devil's door. At a way station out by Mercy's Fall, a drifter cracked, one box too tall. No name, no nails, just dark inside, and something crawled out open-eyed. Boxes for the end of the world, stacked up high, flag unfurled. Clay built them deep, clay built them wide, and each one walks when the hinges slide. Towns go quiet, wagons don't move, dust turns red where the sky won't prove. Telegraph wires hum a tone, and clay just grins through skin and bone. You can count the crates, but not the cost. Every box, a line that's lost. He shipped them far, he stamped them well, and each one brings its piece of hell. Boxes for the end of the world, a gift-wrapped grave for every girl, for every lie, for every sin. Clay carved a door and let it in. They ain't headed somewhere, they're headed everywhere. He stood on a ridge above Crossroads Gate, with ash on his boots and the sky in wait. The wind bowed down, the dust held still, and clay just whispered, "Now drink your fill." He raised no hands, he wore no crown, just a coat stitched shut with burial gowns. The stars blinked once and turned away as he carved these words in a stone of clay. Let there be hunger, let the dead remember, let silence breathe and time dismember. No fire, no flood, no righteous war, just doors unlatched forevermore. No choir sang, but the world did shake as graves cracked wide like a frozen lake. The rivers dried, the blood ran cold, and the sun grew tired of being gold. Clay smiled once, just a sliver thin, and every coffin breathed within. He said, "I ain't a devil, I'm what you chose, the end you earned when mercy froze." Let there be hunger, let the light grow thin, let the age of rot begin again. riding loud, just shadows long beneath no cloud. No spurs to jingle, no breath to show, just dust where wind forgot to blow. Boots don't echo, wheels don't creak, but the dogs all hide and the children weep. They ride at dusk, then ride at dawn, like time gave up and kept moving on. The dead ride west through blood and bone, with eyes like glass and minds of stone. They don't forgive, they don't forget, they just keep riding till the sun don't set. Ran, priest went blind, the graveyard bloomed with the sleepless kind. The clay just washed with hands at rest, the builder done, the world confessed. No cross can't stop, no star can guide what walks the trail with death inside. The west ain't won, the tale ain't done, it's just a door that came undone. The dead rise